Mitch Nunez, right?
Nunes.
No, okay.
Just have Brett.
Okay.
Do you want to come up?
And finally, we have our screenwriter, Rich Romano. So what we can do is you guys can ask the audience some questions. The audience can ask you guys some questions. This is, for some of them, this is their first time actually seeing the final product. So maybe you guys want to talk a little bit about that.
I made myself cry. That's good. That's a good start. I don't remember filming that, but man, that's it was there. That was fun. Anybody have any questions? My show of hands, throwing things at us. That'd be fun. No one?
Well, that's good.
Okay,
You guys might have seen me in the film. I actually had one line, and you got to see my fingers. I said, "Oh, it's Paul Buttacore," and I grabbed the fence.
Just out of curiosity, just to see what challenge you're facing. What was, number one, your budget? Number two, how many filming days did you have to complete this movie?
Well, we never tell our budget, but spoken like somebody in the business. But we shot for 4 weeks. So, yeah, it was pretty tight. I mean, some features get to shoot for 3 months or a year. We're out there every single day, really long days and nights. I mean, we try and cut it after 12 or 13 hours, but sometimes it just goes later than that. So they were really great and supportive. Some actors may not have been.
It was one of those things where it's like, oh, you normally would film a scene or two a day, and we were filming 7 to 8 scenes a day, and I was learning the dialogue literally the night before we were going to film. So I'd get off from a 12-hour day, go to the hotel, learn tomorrow's dialogue, then I'd get there and Rich changed it all, which is great. So it was definitely it was great though. It was great. It was awesome.
I think he wanted to kill us at the time, but
Yeah.
it's all great.
Yeah, my question is actually for you. My dad's a cop. I come from a lot of cops, and he played the cop role very well. I'm just curious, as far as any preparation to get into the role, or you just maybe cops in your family?
You know, the funny thing is, I was out in Los Angeles for a total of 20 years, and I've played. I made a living playing a cop for a long time. You probably saw me as Cop 1 on Law and Order. I was Cop 2 in Ally McBeal. You know, that kind of thing. I filmed a couple of. I filmed a cop movie, obviously a long time before I got saved, and it was one of those, you know, bash 'em up, shoot 'em up kind of films. And what I did was I went on a ride with you know, LAPD. But for this particular film, it was one of those things where I had the entire idea of how I was going to play it and how I was going to do it based on months and months of my own personal research, which is sitting at home in front of a computer. But then, like the last week before we filmed it, they flew me up to meet Rich, and I hadn't met Rich to that time. This was like 4 days before we started filming. And I met Rich, and Rich took me all around New York and showed me where all these actual things happen. And just being there, I came home and changed everything. 2 days before filming, I said, this character is completely wrong, what I've come up with. This is the way it's got to be. It's got to be gritty. It's got to be real, because I met Rich, and I had an idea of how to play it until I met the real guy, and I was like, oh, okay, this is.
He not only went to Times Square, but he actually went to the shot of the spot of the shooting, and he spent a lot of time there. We were praying there. Really young man passed away, and during the film, Wade was by me like every second for those 30 days, getting my accent or whatever, and that scene you saw was 100% accurate. So it really, that's really what happened. And Wade played it great. He's played it great.
Yeah, I mean, because literally months before I would be on the phone with Nicole, and she's like, "When are you going to get rid of your Southern accent?" And I was like, "I don't have one." "Oh, yes, you do." Like, what, really? And I was like, no, I really don't. And honestly, I'm kind of like trying to intentionally get rid of it for you now because I speak with a pretty darn southern accent.
I do. I have a really good story about that too. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no.
Yeah, listen. So I tended to pop up in different places when they were filming when it wasn't even my scene. I just wanted to learn and be around these guys. And the church scene earlier in the movie, when Wade was he was doing a part, he was watching himself on the laptop scenes that he had filmed and parts that he was about to do, and he would read the script. And I saw him and I said, oh, he goes, Wade, let me go say hey. And so I walked up to him and he's reading the script and he's oh, and I thought he was choking. So I was like, are you okay? And he's like, oh, and he wouldn't listen to me. And I said, well, I'll talk to you later. And he just continued, oh. And so I walked away, and then, probably like 30 minutes later, he saw me in the cafeteria where I like to hang out when it was lunchtime. Yeah.
Playtime.
Yeah. So don't listen about the budget thing because we had some good food. Okay.
Thank you. Everybody hated the food, did not care for the food on this film. That was the biggest complaint on set. I said, you guys just be happy you're getting free food.
So 30 minutes later, I'm eating. Food was great. Wade walks by me and he kind of glances and he turns around. He's like, hey, I didn't even know you were here today. And yeah, I may not have been. I did say hey.
Was that me? Oh yeah, because every time I'd slip out of the New York accent, I'd just go up to Rich and say, Rich, talk to me. Just talk to me for a little while, and I would try to get back into it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's it.
No, they did yeah, I was just going to say, bringing them together and just all as you saw at the end, the real the actors with the real people. I mean, they really did just an amazing job. And we had a huge cast for an indie film. I mean, this is my 7th now for producing, and it's usually you have 10 people. We had to cast like over 80 people. It was just amazing, and I think that's a testament of what God did. Because there's no way on an indie film that you can do that. We have a small crew, and they brought in the perfect people. We literally were like, okay, the next person, they were literally brought to us, It's been truly a blessing in putting them together, and he came in with that New York accent. I'm a New Yorker, so I would have been, freaking out if it wasn't there. And my family, I come from a cop family, so that was one of the reasons why Rich's script originally spoke to me. It was very true in terms of that lifestyle and being, in the family of that type of life.
Anyone else?
Rich, can you talk a little bit about what it was like being on the set every day? I know you were there for the whole shoot. And what it was like to watch the words on the page come to life?
Well, first of all, I know Ryder usually doesn't get to get down there, but because it was based on a true story, Nicole was gracious enough to have me down there, and it was a good thing because I actually I had a lot of input with the police, because I was an NYPD sergeant for 20 years, and baseball, I am a baseball coach, and the classroom scenes, so they have a teacher. But there were some scenes there that, I guess you can imagine when they happened, the shooting, when my baby died, things like that, it would get kind of hard, and because 95% of the movie is based on truth of what happened. I'm not creative, I'm just a writer. God gave me the story, and I just wrote it down.
That was a big deal, and Rich and I became good friends over the shooting of the film, and he was gracious enough to bring me into his home in New York, and we spent, I think 36 solid hours of just, he showed me, like you said, he showed me everything, but the fact of the matter that everything through his life and all the downs and the heartaches really did speak to an outcome so far that is amazing. He got to discover his own faith again. He got to bring other kids that were already in a quote-unquote Christian school to their faith again, and I found it so, I didn't really know it was a true story when I first read the script. I just thought it was a great script. Like, this is a great story, and I was like, I got to do this. And I found it was a true story or based on true events, and I was like, wow. Then I got to meet the guy. I was like, I better do this right. You know, I better do it as good as I could. So, so Rich's life is basically what you see on screen, and it was, as far as I know, I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. Anyone else?
Will this be participating in different festivals through the United States?
We're actually looking forward to a theatrical release and DVD coming out hopefully by Easter. So that's what we're gearing towards, and then television. And so film festivals were not the path, but this specific one was such an amazing opportunity. I mean, it was just one of those God things. So, I mean, we just want to thank JP2. These guys are amazing. They've been just running around ragged, and they work so hard to put this together, and you know, so that everybody can come out and see these types of films. Which I think that, you know, all of you being here, thank you so much. You know, just to flip it back on to you, we're very, very grateful. You know, this is a very different type of movie for me. I really switched everything in terms of my life, and when I kind of changed over and really got more into my faith, I realized that the movies that I was doing, which were more action films and horror films and stuff like that, I don't think I had realized before what I was putting out there. You know, and there's a place for all those, but I think that movies like this that are inspiring and uplifting and that you know, that help people in their journey, it's so much more rewarding, and we're grateful.
If I can add to that, I think what's so beautiful is that this is a film with a conscience, and which is what we're trying to do, is bring more awareness to this kind of film, because as you can imagine, Hollywood will produce what you want to see. Okay, you have to say. So when this does get picked up, because it will get picked up, when this does get picked up, you bet your bottom dollar you better go to those movie theaters and tell everybody you know, so that we can build the demand and people will, you know, can understand that this is what we want to see, you know. What I liked so much about the film is that you can see, aside from the fact that there's such a beautiful and raw story behind it, that it's now producing so many fruits, and so God bless you for that. The beauty is that you mentioned you have 80 different cast members, and yet it feels like such a tight-knit, almost like a theater group, you know, like an ensemble. And that's so beautiful that you can tell that this was a true labor of love that everyone was just kind of, you know, on board for. So my question would be, with all of these, because I know when it comes to labor of love, it's a very tough thing to put together, but what are the moments that shine through that for you, like, really made it, you know, if there was one specific moment that really stood out to you, what would it be?
Well, actually, there were two moments. It was when the little boys were throwing the ball. That was what me and my brother did. It just made me so happy remembering how it was when you were a kid. You know? And then the other one was the old man scene. That changed my life when I was a cold-hearted, no empathy police officer, which you have to be. If you have empathy for everybody you see, you probably lose your mind. So after a while, you become distant to people, and I was. But at that moment, that scene went down just the way it was shown. And when the old man, when we realized it was his son, as the actor said, we realized that every man is somebody's son. You know, so kind of what Jesus Christ was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that night was truly amazing. That scene, you know, when you take on a film and you're reading all these scripts, you know, you want one that you're willing to put a year, you're going to give up a year of your life at least. A year to 2 years of your life, you're not doing anything else except working on this film. And that scene was the scene. I tell Rich this a lot. I'm like, that's the reason why. I mean, that was what spoke to me the most. The whole movie was beautiful, but that scene did it for me. I had never really seen anything quite like that. And when we just started going out to meet with the studios to talk about distribution, that was one scene that they wanted, the main scene that they wanted us to cut out of the film. And I want to ask you guys, you know, as an audience, and we tried to clarify it a little bit more. In the end, did you guys understand that and understand what was happening? Because they said that they were confused. But we did change it a little bit at the beginning to kind of give more of the story, to kind of, at least give you guys an idea, more of an idea. Before it was kind of like in a rougher cut, it was more of a dream sequence. Like you didn't really know what was going on there. So I definitely want to ask, because then I can go back to them and say, nope, we're not, everybody understood it, they loved it, everything's great. But for me, the little boys was our first day of shooting. It was our very, very first shot. Got it. Somebody back there is taking, he has specific photos of that first day. But the moment that really spoke to me was we prayed on the set together every day. That was something that we had all agreed in. And in terms of us being a group and in unity, is that the cast that we had, everybody, and I've worked on some movies where it was not like this, everyone was just so humble and so much a team. And the main guys, and it was one of the reasons why I chose Wade, is it's got to go down to the whole cast. I said we have a huge cast. There has to be a good example who is doing it right. Not somebody that's saying, oh, where's my trailer? Or something like that.
Where was my trailer, by the way?
No trailers on this one.
Oh.
But so, that unity and having that together, and we had people of all faiths on the film. We didn't discriminate. I mean, we had people that didn't believe. We had agnostic, Catholic, Christian, Jewish, everybody. But we still, prayed together every day. Even the people that didn't understand it kind of came in and, respected it and really, appreciated that we were there. But the last night, do you guys remember it started raining?
Yeah.
Our last 2 days of shooting, it was, it started to rain. It literally would have ruined the film. Like, we wouldn't have been able to finish. And as soon as it started raining, everybody just got together and just prayed, that we please complete this after, everything that we had done. And I know it sounds crazy, but the rain literally just sucked right back up. It happened 2 or 3 times in the night, and we just prayed, and it was like, it just stopped. And it was that freezing cold night last year. At the end of last year, it was like 30 degrees. The one...
Like in July, it was crazy.
I was up yeah, so.
Sorry.
Well, I just wanted to add one thing. For all the scenes Nicole and Rich mentioned, were among my favorite as well. But one of the other scenes, because I'm very competitive, and I hate to lose games. And when at the end, it really touches me when they lose the game, and because they really are winners and they really won. And the message of that part of the film really spoke to me, that you don't have to win a game to be a winner.
Yeah.
And Rich, speaking of that last scene, and that was real as well. And so it meant a lot to me, because usually I would say, no way, we're going to win this. And they won it live. And really, I thought that was one of my favorite scenes.
I really like that fact that they didn't win at the end. Most movies have a happy ending.
Right.
But that makes it so real. So
Right, exactly.
Did you think
and
they
they
were
won
going to win?
more than winning the game. So I
Yeah.
really like that.
Just because you believe in Christ doesn't mean you're going to win the game.
Yes.
Or you win something else. Right?
You win the wars, maybe not the
That's
game.
right.
I want to just speak to your question, the moments that that were important to me, and I think one of the most important moments that happened in this film is one day when we were in the mock courtroom, and we had like 2-3 pages of dialogue. Obviously we're stuffing it all together. And I kept my phone in my pocket and just kept it on vibrate, because I was texting my wife. She was hours away. That's my wife back there. And I text her here and there, and I say, "Oh, we're about to start filming. I'll call you. When we're done, 13, 14 hours." And then all of a sudden, right as we were about to take like the second take of this long diatribe scene, my phone starts buzzing, and pull it out. It was my wife, and she just put the number 5. I said, "Number 5 what?" And I was like, "Okay, put it back in there." And all of a sudden, I literally heard Curtis say, "Rolling," and all of a sudden, I felt it again. I was like, "What's going on?" And then she goes, "Baby." So we got pregnant with our 5th child during the filming of this movie when I was going home on the weekends. So that was a big deal to me, and right now our son Kynan is 5 months old, and so that was a huge deal for me. I couldn't remember a word after that. I did pull a little diva. I was like, I'm sorry, we have to stop this. Okay, I can't think. So we had to go and like really focus and think. And I tell her when my wife's pregnant, we're about to have our 5th kid, and it was one of those remarkable moments. That was a very remarkable moment for me. Being able to film and being able to get that emotion that James has is only a gift from God. Because before I got saved, I wasn't I don't know if I'm a great actor now, I don't know if I'm any good, but I couldn't, thanks, Carlos. But I would not allow myself to be vulnerable. I wouldn't allow myself, because I would not let him work through me, because I didn't believe in it. But now that I have a relationship with him, I was just like, do whatever it is that you want to do. And it just kind of flowed like that. And it really is a testament to God's plan, God's sense of humor, that I had stopped acting about almost 10 years ago. And because I wanted to have a better income for my family, I was like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Oh yeah, I used to be an actor. And so one of my very first auditions out, I land this part. And tell me that's not God just laughing, okay? So God's just doing wonderful things. So and a Southern guy, the Southern accent, lands a role of a New York cop, and I get away with it? Seriously? I mean, come on. That's not me. That's definitely God. So that was one of those moments where I'm like, wow, this is pretty awesome.
No, he did it. You did it too, though, because the first time he came in and he's